I'd like to call to order the public meeting for April 25th, 2023. Mrs. Natter, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Good evening, Lower Moreland Township School District community. My name is Dr. Scott Davidheiser, Superintendent of Schools, and I'd like to thank you for attending this evening's meeting of the Board of School Directors. I would like to remind our board and members of the public that this meeting is being live streamed on our district YouTube channel and that a recording of the meeting will be posted on our school board website within 48 hours following this meeting. I would like to welcome our board members and members of the public joining us this evening. To our board members, please be reminded that for sound purposes, you must turn on your microphone by tapping the touchpad and speak directly into it for the sound to be audible, not only for our in-person community members here in the auditorium, but also for anyone listening to the live stream. After speaking, please also mute your microphone by once again pressing on the touchpad. Mr. Giordano, would you please take the roll call of the board?
Mrs. Baker.
Present.
Mr. Berardi.
Present.
Mrs. Natter.
Present.
Mr. Geiger.
Present.
Dr. Butler.
Present.
Ms. Cannon.
Present.
Dr. Lee.
Present.
Mr. Steinberg. Mr. Steinberg is absent. Mr. Wolberansky.
Present.
We have 8 present.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano. And as you heard, Dr. Lee is going to be joining us virtually. Once the meeting begins and its formality, we'll draw down the screen and we should be able to have him on screen as well.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st, 2023 regular meeting as recorded or amended of the Lower Moreland Township School District?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried.
That takes us down to our recognition portion of this meeting, and we're going to begin now that we're in the throes of spring and our music concert season. It's more appropriate that we have a little bit of a tasting of that this evening, and we have before us the Murray Avenue Jazz Band, directed by Logan Moore, and I'm going to ask that Ms. Moore come to one of the microphones up there just to share a little bit about her band, and at the same time I'm going to ask our board if you wouldn't mind going back into the auditorium seating, and we'll stay there throughout all 3 recognitions this evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Logan. This is the Murray Avenue Jazz Ensemble. We are thrilled to be here to play for you all tonight. This is a super exciting opportunity for these kids as well as myself. We'd like to thank Dr. Davidheiser, the members of the board, our lovely principal, Jen Dilks, for having us and for supporting the music program as much as they do. We've got 2 tunes for you guys tonight. The first one I think you'll all recognize, and it's going to feature Mr. Michael Bond on tenor sax. Thank you. right, we've got one more for you guys, another fun tune. This one is the Bare Necessities. Again, thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. The Murray Avenue Jazz Ensemble, give it up for these kids. They're amazing. So much fun to work with every day. I'm proud of them. Thank you so much. All right, guys, sit back down and just chill out for a second until we get this next one.
And thank you, Ms. Moore, and thank you, Murray Avenue Jazz Band. What a way to start a meeting off. We're going to transition into our second recognition of the evening, and that begins with a competition that a number of our students at Pine Road and Murray Avenue were involved with, and that was called CalcuSolve. So the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit hosted a mathematics competition called CalcuSolve. Various schools within Montgomery County participated, including Murray Avenue and Pine Road schools. CalcuSolve is a student event that tests students' problem-solving skills related to mathematics. Students participate both individually and part as a 4-member team. And from that competition, we had a number of certificated students, and we wanted to share that with our public this evening and invite those students and families here this evening. And we're going to do that, and I'm going to be sharing the elementary division. Mr. Chris Warren, who hosted it as the chaperone at the elementary, was unable to be here this morning. I'm going to invite to the podium Ms. Jen Dilks, who's going to take the place of Ms. Denise Myers, who was also our advisor at Murray Avenue, and she'll be sharing the middle level students. So I'm going to read our first and invite down, and what we're going to do, the first is a team. This was the Pine Road Team 1. I'm going to invite all of you collectively, and once I hand you your certificate, I'm going to ask that you go into the center. Mrs. Galdo is going to take some photos of you as a team, and then if you would just simply stand a little bit to the side, and we'll invite the next group in, and then eventually we'll take a larger photo of everyone, and families can come down and take a larger photo as well. So we're going to begin with the elementary division, and this was the Pine Road Team 1. This was on 4 fifth graders who were the overall team competition winners. So those students include David Melnikov. David, why don't you come on over? And as an example, I'm going to read David's Certificate of Achievement, and all students will be receiving a similar one. And David, in recognition for your outstanding performance at the CalcuSolve math competition, congratulations on winning the overall team competition with the Pine Road 5th grade team. Congratulations. I'm going to ask you just to stand in the middle over here, okay? Our next student, 5th grade, Valentin Charlie. Congratulations. David. Next, we have Eva Nair. Congratulations. And lastly, we have Samuel Lipperman. Congratulations, Pine Road, Team 1. Look at the camera. All right, thank you. Folks, if you could just go stand over on the side of the auditorium, we're going to call you back for one larger photo shoot. So keeping in the elementary division, we also had 2 individual winners, and these students were both from Team 2. Both of these students, while they're in the elementary division, actually are middle schoolers with us, but 6th grade is classified as elementary still. So those 2 students, and I'd like to invite the first one down, is Dexter Buss. Dexter here? Let's see Dexter. All right, we'll make sure we get that to him. And our second student, Michael Krisman. Michael here? I don't see Michael here. All right, we'll get those 2. Well, those were 2 of our individual team winners, both in 6th grade in the elementary division. So Ms. Dilks, I'm going to invite you up to middle division.
Thank you. In the middle school division, Murray Avenue placed first in the team division, and that team included these students. Angela Kushner. Angela's here. Ben Chervaneva. Is Ben here? Mehitab Singh. And Natalia Abraham. We also had individual winners with a, ooh, I'm sorry, we're going to get a picture.
You want to get a picture of that? Congratulations.
And these are our middle school division individual winners with a perfect score. Angela Kushner, I'm going to have you back down.
You get another one.
Angela, we get you another certificate. Yep. Congratulations. Ben Chervaneva, also another individual winner with a perfect score. Mehitab Singh, also at the perfect score. Natalia Abraham. Alan Pasternak. Is Alan here? No. Cameron Fisher. There he is. Congratulations. Abel Anoop. No. And Patrick Shea. Patrick? Congratulations to our middle school winners.
All right, all winners, why don't we come back? One last group shot. Patrick. All right, one last round of applause. Congratulations, students. That takes us to our last recognition of the evening, and that is our Student of the Month program that we have. And I'd like to invite Mr. Miles, high school principal, to the podium to present his Students of the Month.
Good evening, Dr. David Heiser, members of the board. Thank you for giving us the time to acknowledge our students. We have two Students of the Month from the high school, and I'd like to bring up to the microphone at this time 10th grader Eden George and 11th grader Mason Tamaro. All right. You're going to go first, so you can stay right with me. All right, Mason, if you just want to hang out over here, we'll go 10th graders first. Okay, we're going to go with 10th grader first, Eden. This is what Eden's teacher had to say. Eden has demonstrated a lot of growth with her learning through patience, practice, and hard work. She shares her kindness and support with the people around her. She brings a positive light to the classroom and exhibits her eagerness to learn. Eden is always challenging herself and surpassing her goals. If I may read your certificate. Lower Moreland High School Student of the Month, Eden George, is recognized for academics, character, and integrity. We congratulate you and have confidence that your future will be equally successful. Eden, congratulations, and I also have a letter of congratulations from Representative Genst. Congratulations. Yep, we'll take a picture shortly as well. And Mason, you're up next, if you want to join me here. And I appreciate Mason coming tonight. He also had a baseball game this afternoon, so he hustled over. So thank you for being here. And this is what Mason's teacher had to say. Mason Tamaro exhibits all the qualities of what we look for in our student body. His healthy attitude toward learning is contagious. He will always contribute an anecdote or a funny story that directly relates to what the class is learning that day. His comments always help in advancing learning and understanding. He also takes and applies constructive criticism. A multi-sport student athlete, Mason is also known for speaking up for what is right. He is someone we can be proud to call a lion. And if I may read your certificate as well, Mason. Lower Moreland High School Student of the Month, Mason Tamaro, is recognized for academics, character, and integrity. We congratulate you and have confidence that your future will be equally successful. Again, I have your certificate, and again, a congratulatory letter from Representative Genst. Mason, congratulations. All right, get our friends together, and you can hold your certificate up again. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'd like to invite back to the podium Ms. Jen Dilks for her Students of the Month.
It's my pleasure to present two Students of the Month this month. Amber Chang, if Amber's in the audience, I'm going to have her join me at the podium. She may be joining us virtually. So I'm going to start by reading the certificate that goes to both of our Students of the Month from our state senator, and it reads, "Your dedication to academics and school activities and your demonstration of good character are exemplary. For the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the United States of America to grow and succeed, we must all make our best, most heartfelt effort to consistently display these qualities. We are each responsible for helping our school and our community, and you have shown that you are up to that challenge. I join with your teachers and fellow students in recognizing your outstanding citizenship qualities. Congratulations for receiving this much-deserved award." And Amber's teachers shared the following about her. Amber is a hardworking, diligent student who puts forth tremendous effort in all of her classes. She is dependable, kind, and gives her all in many activities in school, seeking enrichment whenever possible. Her progress through Mary Avenue School as an individual and as a student has been remarkable and deserves this recognition. Congratulations, Amber. And our other Student of the Month is Rachel Goldie. If Rachel is in the audience, she's going to join me up here. Congratulations. I'm going to share what Rachel shared, her teachers shared about her. Rachel is relatively new to our school, and in a short time, she has distinguished herself as an excellent student, a kind person, and a true asset to our learning community. Rachel integrated herself into our classroom so quickly that it seems that she was a part of our school from the beginning of the year. Rachel continues to work hard and put forth her best effort in her day to work. Rachel is a student that we are sure will move on to the high school next year and excel as a leader both inside and outside of the classroom. Congratulations, Rachel. Thank you. Oh, they want a picture.
And lastly, I'd like to invite to the podium our principal at Pine Road Elementary, Mr. Scott Cole.
Thank you very much. I would like to celebrate our Pine Road Student of the Month, Maeve Martin, who I do not believe is here tonight. Maeve was actually nominated this month by several teachers. Some of the reasons that they shared for nominating her were that she is helpful and she is kind. They shared that she is, quote, always doing the right thing. She consistently goes above and beyond in class, especially when doing group work with her classmates. Another one of the teachers that nominated Maeve this month shared that she, quote, lives the 4 pillars and is always willing to help. We are very lucky indeed to have such a great student at Pine Road. Thank you.
That concludes our recognition portion of the meeting. This is a time where we're going to transition back board members to their table. Jazz band, you get to be excused at this point, and any families, anyone that's attending that wants to leave, this would be a great time to do so before we head into the business of the meeting. Thank you. While we're still transitioning, if there's anybody here in the auditorium that needs to register for public comment, please see Mr. Giordano down in the front.
Dr. Lee, are you still hearing us okay?
I am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Giordano, any public comment?
There is no public comment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that takes us to our personnel section. Mrs. Baker.
Do I have a motion to approve the 2022-2023 personnel motions 1A as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried.
Mrs. Gauda, we do have somebody here this evening that we would like to recognize here for the board.
Yep, so we have Ms. Carla Paccetti, if you don't mind standing, Carla. And she's our new supervisor of curriculum and community engagement starting July 3rd. We're very happy to welcome her to the Lower Moreland community. So thank you.
Carla, thank you for joining us this evening, and congratulations.
And there's a couple of other new items on the personnel motions that are added since the work session. They're in bold. So Jasmine Abraham was added as a summer camp counselor. for the summer camp. And Eve Marasco, the ELD teacher at the high school, is requesting a family and medical leave from May 19th to June 2nd.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 non-athletic and athletic extracurricular contracts as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
No changes to that.
If there are no comments or questions, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 agreement between Lower Moreland Township School District and the Substitute Teacher Service, STS, as attached?
So moved.
Second?
And that's the same as we discussed at work session. It just has a 4% increase to all the rates.
Second.
Second. Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 agreement between Lower Moreland Township School District and General Health Care Resources, GHR, as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
There are no changes to that motion either. It's still a 4% increase to the rates.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 agreement between Lower Moreland Township School District and the U.S. Medical Staffing Incorporated?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any changes?
This is a new motion since the work session. This also adds a 4% increase to the rates that we have for U.S. medical staffing.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2025 agreement between Lower Moreland Township School District and Bayada Home Health Care Incorporated as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any changes?
So this is a new motion since the work session. Beata just added a 2% rate to the nurses' salaries. It takes us to 2025, so that's...
Thank you.
yeah.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the professional meetings as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
There are no changes since the work session.
Thank you. If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I have a motion to approve the dual credit agreement between Lower Moreland Township School District and the University of Pittsburgh as attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I have a quick question. Can I ask what our enrollment has been, and are there other courses that are potentially could be offered?
There are, in the class itself, there are 9 students who opted for the dual credit opportunity. We are looking to grow our program. We're unsure at this time if it will actually be through University of Pittsburgh or another local entity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Why is that? So a motion to approve the applications for use of buildings and facilities as attached.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Just a reminder to the board, this is a retroactive approval. This event was held on Monday, and we had, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Miles, I believe 51 donors, blood donors that day, and went very well, very smoothly.
Any other comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. The motion to approve to adopt the parameters resolution as prepared by the Bond Council for the issuance of General Obligation Bond Series of 2023 in the maximum aggregate amount of $19,500,000.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I'd like to invite to the podium at this time Mr. Scott Shearer and Mr. Garrett Moore, both from PFM, and to just share a summary of the underwriter summary of the RFP, an underwriter RFP summary with you before we get to the actual resolution, and then we'll invite Mr. Reed forward to answer any questions you may have. Mr. Shearer?
All right, thank you. Good evening. I'll be brief this evening. Just to kind of recap, we were here, I guess it was for your workshop meeting back in March to review the finance plan. That this is basically step 4 of the 4-step plan to fully fund your project. We were then authorized to proceed at your regular board meeting in March to move forward with the structure. We then sent out an underwriter RFP to pretty much the same group that we had sent some of the prior RFPs to for steps 2 and 3. And so basically this evening, we kind of have a couple different things. Number one, to show the results of that RFP process and who submitted the overall best proposal, and then there'll be the actual parameters resolution that your bond council will briefly review. Maybe just real quick, just to get ourselves reacclimated again. So on this page here, and everyone has a hard copy of this as well as what's on the screen. If we just focus on the middle chart on page 2, this just gives us a quick illustration of where we are with tax-exempt municipal rates. And this chart here goes back to the early 90s, but I think this blue section right here, I think kind of says it all. That, for this 4th piece, so we borrowed in 2020, 2021, 2022, and now 2023 for this final piece. 2 of the financings, we borrowed basically at all-time low interest rates. The school district did very well with those borrowings. The last transaction, this transaction, we're basically borrowing at historical averages or maybe even a little bit lower, better than historical averages. And this blue chart here basically says that about 72% of the time, 71% of the time, rates have been greater than where they are right now, going back to the early 90s. So yes, these interest rates are higher than what we experienced in 2020 and 21, but overall, again, still well below historical averages. And you'll see when we get to kind of the numbers that when we factor in all 4 borrowings, now we haven't completed this 4th one yet, we kind of have everything in place, ready to go, hopefully for next week pricing, but your all-in cost of borrowing or your cost of capital is probably somewhere around, say, 2.75%. So you're borrowing a substantial amount of money to fund this project at very, very low interest rates, and that's a 30-year financing. So you're borrowing with basically a 2-handle over a 30-year period. So overall, again, we're very pleased with where things are shaking out. Just real quick, with the update here, again, the borrowing plan was to move forward with this financing plan such that when we're done with everything, that your debt service is basically at where it was prior to embarking on this capital plan. And things are kind of working well. Your business office has been doing a great job kind of managing this and working with us and making sure everything's coming in line. So with the different tools we have available, that's all coming to fruition. And then here in point number 3, we're looking to borrow roughly $16 million for this last piece. The timing here, just real briefly again this evening, is the parameters resolution to consider for approval. And then right now we're looking to finalize kind of all the financing documents next Monday when Mark returns, and we have a few more calls to go over a couple things, and then maybe price middle to latter part of next week. Kind of depends on what the Fed does and the announcement. If we don't price and lock in the interest rates next week, it'll be the following week. So we're real close to kind of getting everything done, and then we'll close in early June Tomorrow, we also expect to have the credit rating reaffirmed of the district. District has a very good credit rating, which has really helped facilitate these lower interest rates for the borrowing. So, a lot of things are coming into place. As far as the underwriter RFP, we got these 5 responses from Janney Montgomery Scott, PNC, Stiefel, Piper, and Raymond James. We asked for both qualitative and quantitative information. And, we talked about rankings, national rankings, Pennsylvania rankings, prior experience with the school district, and then we get more into the quantitative aspects down here. Basically, again, they're all good firms. That's why we sent RFP to all the firms. The district has experience with some of these and that have done a very good job. Based on the current market and the responses that we received, if we go all the way down to the bottom row where it says indicative true interest cost, when we factor in their indicative interest rates as well as their fees, their commission, Raymond James has the best proposal. We have a lot of experience with Raymond James. We're confident they'll do a good job for the school district. And so we asked them to basically, move forward with us, join the team, assuming everything goes well this evening, to approve the parameters resolution. And there is their bond purchase agreement for your signatures this evening as well if you decide you want to move forward. So again, overall, good results. The results came in where we basically expected the rates to be, relatively close with the different interest rates, but we would recommend moving forward with Raymond James. We can skip this page for the moment. Again, I think this is the important page that we've been showing now for about 4 years or so. When we line up all the different financings, we're focused here on the purple, which is the final piece. These numbers look very similar to what I presented back at the workshop in March. The key thing is this last column here, assuming the market stays about where it is between now and the time we price here in a week or two, we're going to come in basically right around, maybe a little bit better than where we thought we were going to be in 2020. So again, all in all, a lot of planning and things seem to be coming to fruition. After we finish the pricing on this last deal, we'll follow up with kind of what the final results look like to make sure everything came in as expected. And just real briefly, the parameters resolution that your bond council will move forward with, as we've explained in quite a few other resolutions, even though we're going to be borrowing roughly $16 million, you'll see here on this schedule the parameters resolution, the wording in that resolution, as well as our schedules, and the schedule included in that resolution reflect a higher dollar amount of $19.5 million and higher interest rates. Again, we do this for state purposes, for filing, so we make sure we fall within those parameters. We'll have no problem there. And then the rest of this is more of the backup schedules on what the deal will actually look like based on current market rates and the estimated fees that are broken out on this page here. And that is basically the highlights of what I wanted to review from a financial standpoint. Happy to answer any questions you have with the numbers. If not, I will turn it over to Mr. Reed to review the highlights of the resolution.
Mr. Shearer, I have a question about the current rate of tax-free bonds is, you said 2.36. That's the first chart you showed us. That was like, it's 71% of the time. This is less than.
Yep, that is the index. So this is
Right.
This is the 10-year municipal index. So this does not directly correlate to Lower Moreland Township School District.
Okay.
This is basically just like when we go to get our personal mortgage, we kind of use the 10-year treasury as a proxy.
Okay.
This is a proxy for pricing any municipal debt. And then it basically comes down to your credit rating and then what is the differential between your actual rate and that index. So this just gives us a good indication of where the market has been, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
So, because looking at Raymond James, the lowest cost is going to be 3.9, almost 3.95. So I was just comparing that 2.3 to that, and that was a big difference.
Yep.
But you're saying our borrowing will come in more like 2 3/4, you had said?
Well, that's when you average all the 4 borrowings together. That was my example there. When we looked at the 2020, the 2021, 22, and 23, because some of those interest rates, we locked in like a 1.45% on one of them and like a 2% on another one and about a 2.5%. So when we average all those, you're going to be somewhere around 2 3/4.
Okay. Because this 3.9 is going to be very close to what the tax-free yields are on those bonds.
Yep.
Okay, I get it now. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Reed?
Thank you, Mr. Shear. Good to be back before the board again. I also will be brief. So our role as bond counsel is to come alongside the board, the administration, your solicitor, and then also your financial advisor and ultimately the underwriter team to make sure that when you go through this process, as we've done in the other phases, that you do it according to basically two areas. One, the state law, and then secondly, the federal law. So obviously, first and foremost, the most important thing is what is the local decision? What does the board want to do? And that's part of the resolution. But a large part of the resolution and why it's so lengthy is not because we're in love with words per se. It's because that there's certain provisions within the state law, which is the Local Government Unit Debt Act, that all school districts, cities, townships, and counties have to follow. So there's a lot in there about that. And then secondly, you are issuing bonds at tax-exempt rates. If Scott and I were to go out and try to get these rates, we would not. We would get them at taxable rates. Because of that, the IRS has a regimen of rules that must be followed. So a component of the resolution also indicates that the school district will, in fact, follow that regimen of rules. Lastly, what I will say is the resolution is designed to authorize officers and officials of the school district to sign certain documents. One is with the filing with the Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED, that's the state side of it. I have a folder here this evening. The president, in some instances, the secretary, in some instances, and your business manager, when he returns, in some instances, have some documents to sign, which we'll file with the state. It also authorized those same officers and officials, after the pricing, which Scott described may be next week or the following week, we'll actually have the final numbers, and then we'll have a series of closing documents, which will be documents that the underwriters will sign. There's an opinion that I give, there's an opinion that the solicitor gives, and a variety of other documents, financial advisor certificate as well. So it's a comprehensive document for those reasons. It's really setting the stage, one, for the state filing, and two, for the closing, which, based on this schedule, would be sometime in early June when we'd actually close on the transaction. Proceeds would then be deposited in the appropriate accounts for access for finishing up your project. With that, I will stop to see if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Scott.
Are there any other further comments or questions on the importance of the parameters resolution? If not, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried.
Kevin, we'll get that large docket of paperwork back to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the base lunch prices for the 2023-2024 school year? The prices will be identical to the base prices in 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do a motion to approve the accounts payable checklist dated March 31st, 2023 in the amount of $4,591,186.63 and checklist dated April 17th, 2023 in the amount of $5,368,574.52 as attached.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do a motion to approve the financial reports listed below.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do a motion to approve the wire transfer list dated March 31st, 2023 in the amount of $2,992,632.97.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do a motion to approve the proposal from Pannoni Civil Engineers to perform professional services related to the stormwater tie-in at Red Lion Road as previously discussed. These changes will be billed through KCBA Architects.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I do have an update for the board with regard to that. So since our workshop and giving us approval to move forward with that, we did have and began an investigation of the utilities under Red Lion, and we have some real good news to share this evening, actually. So Pannoni, the civil engineers who we've been working with, reviewed the Frank Environment CCTV findings and determined that the stormwater tie-in can be made upstream of Valley Center Park. Utility investigation found a 24-inch RCP stormwater pipe in good condition running up Red Lion. The tie-in will likely occur about 250 feet south of the high school driveway rather than south of Valley Center Park. This reduces the installation distance by about 640 linear feet and eliminates 2 or 3 manholes. Frank Environmental will be on site again this coming Friday to complete a second investigation. The results of this investigation will be used to finalize our decision as to where the tie-in will be. Contractors' test dig scope and the contractor's scope may be reduced based on Friday's CCTV investigation. However, the good news is that, when we're talking about nearly 600 or more feet of linear pipe, it's not only the material itself, but it's the dig and everything else involved in that. So we're estimating, right now we had a budget of roughly just over $400,000. We believe that will be reduced in half. And we are partnering with the township. The township on our behalf have sent out and working on a grant right now in the neighborhood of about $220,000. So we're hoping in the end this may become just a wash with regard to this tie-in, which if you recall we had investigated earlier. We decided to take a break on that based on pricing as we've come back and done some more thorough investigation. So it's good news, and we'll keep you abreast of where that is in the end, but it does appear, almost midway up, probably almost directly in front. If you're staring at the new high school, right about the midpoint of the high school, of that science wing is where that tie-in will take place rather than below the Valley Center entrance. So it's good news.
So is that the tie-in to the large basin? Is that the one?
Yeah, this is the tie-in that's coming off the main down through that we needed to connect into, and it was always pretty much assumed that 24-inch was right there at the base of the driveway, which we found not to necessarily be the case. So we've identified a number of things for the township and documented a number of things for them as they move forward on anything that they have as well. So fairly good news on this.
Now, does this have any bearings on the small basin, or is that just ours as well? Is that something?
Yeah, this is the main tie-in. This is, we're fine with everything else that's tied in there. This is the main tie-in coming down.
Thank you.
Dr. David Heiser?
Yeah. Yes.
Is this a new grant that you're mentioning? Because I believe at our last session, we discussed the current grant was, I think, for 233 or something out of.
Yes,
out of the
that's that
420.
same grant. That's the grant that we're applying for this.
So, and no adjustments to the grant have to be made? I thought, Dr., that it was characterized as a matching grant and that we would have to put in some funds, but you're saying that it could cover the entirety of the costs?
Yeah, we're hoping, if approved, correct.
Any other further
And I'm
comments?
sorry,
I'm sorry.
I just, certain things coming into my head there as we're talking about this. We're expecting to know on approval status sometime mid to late June is when we've been told. And we're hoping then to really fast forward to work, we'd like to try to complete that tie-in the summer months. And now whether that is going to work completely, we're not sure at this point.
Does that change the time frame? Do we lose any time on that?
No, we just wanted to do it in the summer when we just saw a lot less volume of traffic and the types of things that we're going to see on the road when school's in session.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. To a motion to approve the expenditure budget for 2023-2024 in the amount of $59,899,816 as per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
And just a reminder to the board that this does not set a tax rate. This is the expenditure budget. We're still working on that. However, due to law, we needed to make sure that this sat in public view for 30 days, and doing it at our May session, which we would typically do, did not allow us enough days when it came to approvals between May and June for this. So hence the reason we're bringing this to you here, and again, this does not set a tax rate at this point, and we're still looking on the revenue side on some other things.
Thank you. Are there any further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. The motion to approval of the shared services agreement between the Lower Moreland Township School District and the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit for the 2023-2024 school year at a total cost of $506,608.23 as attached. This agreement is also known as the cost plan.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I do, Mrs. Baker. Is this just a guesstimate, Dr. David Heiser, of what, because since this is in the future, we don't know how many hours we're going to need for all these various services? Is this just a guesstimate?
It's a little better than a guesstimate, Frank. Is it taken off our current data and suggesting forward?
It is. It's taken off current data, suggesting forward. Reflects actually the placement of 2 students in IU programs. So these are actual definites.
Okay. And what is the $506,000 in 2023, 2024 compared to 2022, 2023 this year?
It would be an increase because of those 2 students.
Okay.
A significant increase because of those 2 students who came in from a younger age and required multiple disability support services, which we do not have. We don't have such classrooms.
Okay.
So yeah.
But everything else sort of?
Everything else pretty much the same as previous years, services and whatnot, hearing, vision, and transition services.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. To a motion to approve the 2023-2024 MCIU Rowan Services Agreement in the amount of $13,890,000 per the attached.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any comments or questions?
Dr. Hill, you just want to apprise the board again as to what this covers?
Absolutely. The MCIU is our primary internet service provider, and this covers both our internet service and any maintenance, upgrades, and support for the 23-24 school year.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? If there are none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do a motion to approve the 2023-2024 Power School eSchool Plus SIS components, Power School Special Programs, Power School Enrollment, and Power School Applicant Tracking System per the attached agreements at a total cost of $117,791,068.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any comments or questions?
This is for our Power School student information system, our special education components, enrollment, applicant tracking, and as stated at the work session, this is an increase year over year, but this is one of our core services that a district cannot operate without, and it's in line with their previous year over year increases.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. To motion to approve the 2023-2027 Final Site Content Management System CMS themes, website translation, Waglot, mass notifications, training, support, and hosting agreement per the attached. This agreement includes the conversion from the current theme to the new user-friendly, feature-rich, fully ADA-compliant theme.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any comments or questions?
I was just
Mr.
thinking I should get a
Geiger?
commission for that description from Final Site. That sounds pretty great. This is to take our current theme, which will be sunset from the Blackboard system, and migrate it to Final Site, which is now the parent company of that web content management system. And if approved tonight, we'll be able to have this in place hopefully by high school commencement. So we're looking at June, if approved tonight.
Dr. Hill, do we have the right proposal attached? Because looks like the RFP is prepared for Upper Moreland Public Schools. So anyway, just thought I'd make a mention of that. The cover page is, sorry, I'm a detail person, so it caught my eye. Maybe we want to get them to resend it.
Yeah, the contract does say Lower Moreland, and the second page does.
Yeah.
I can talk to Caitlin about that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any further comments or questions?
When is the last time we changed the design from the one that's sunsetting?
2017.
Any other comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. To a motion to approve the revised 2022-2023 academic calendar as attached.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. To a motion to approve the request for proposal, RFP, for an enrollment study as previously presented per the attached.
My attachment isn't opening. Is yours?
Yeah. Mm-mm. Can I? No. Okay.
I think we might be able to get it corrected, so let's just skip this and go down to C.
Okay. Under School Board C, overnight trip for FBLA, do I have a motion to approve the request for proposal RFP for an, oh, I'm sorry, mine doesn't go over. All right, now it's on. Do I have a motion to approve the overnight trip for FBLA to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for the FBLA State Leadership Conference Championship?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
So just a reminder, this is a retroactive approval. This trip already took place, and I'm happy to report that we had 6 students that placed in the top 10 of their designations. Of those 6, 2 qualified for nationals, and that's the largest number that we've ever had qualify, and that's a trip over the summer that those students will take for the national qualifying event in those areas. So congratulations to those, and we will be recognizing those students at our May legislative meeting.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any? I'm sorry, Dr. Butler? Oh, sorry. Okay, well, let's start over again. Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Do I motion for approval of the, okay.
Clarify for Dr. Lee, I think
Yeah.
he couldn't hear that the plan is to try to go back to that previous agenda item if it's fixable. There's a problem with the link.
Yes, Dr. Lee, we will be going back to the RFP for enrollment projections. There's a problem right now with the link. We're trying to correct that, and we want to make sure we have that visible for all board to see. So we're working off the same document. So we'll come back to it at the end.
Thank you.
Dr. Lee, were you able to hear C, the overnight trip?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, request approval of the overnight trip for the All-State Music Festival at Kalahari Resorts and Convention Center at Poconos.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
And again, this was a retroactive approval. Those students went for that festival, and it was a great recognition for us to be able to send 2 students there for that.
Any comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried.
So for board members and folks at home, if you refresh your screen, it will load the RFP for enrollment projections.
Thank you, Dr. Hill.
Do I motion to approve the request for proposal, the RFP, for an enrollment study as previously presented per the attached?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Would you like some time to review the document? Any questions or comments?
So just to bring to your attention, Dr. Lee had expressed some interest in some explanations if you were to go to, as part of the scope of services, if you were to go to page 8, you'll see those two additions, 9 and 10. 9 reading explanations or rationale for why the 2019 Future Think and/or 2016 Montgomery County Planning Commission enrollment studies incurred much larger variances than predicted. And also review and analysis, the demographic analysis prepared by David C. Babbitt and Associates LLC for BET investments for the proposed development of the Philmont Flats at Pine, Philmont, Tomlinson Roads. Those were two suggestives that were discussed at the work session that have been included. The others were there as part of this RFP already.
Mr. Geiger?
Well, if this is an RFP, I'm missing, there's no, so we don't know what the fees are for this service.
So this is your approval in order for us as a school district to send out a request for proposal.
Thank you.
So it does not tie you to anything.
Okay.
Simply puts together a process to which, and Mr. McGuinn shared a number of companies to which that we would forward this to. It would be available to others to be able to send requests in. So it doesn't tie you to anything at this point in
That's
time,
what I
but it
needed to
is
know.
something that was suggested by some members of the board to bring forward and discuss and so forth.
Thank you.
So there's no cost associated with approving this right now?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other further comments or questions? If not, move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Okay, going back to committee reports. Legislative.
In lieu of our monthly meeting, there's a legislative breakfast that I'll be attending, I believe with Dr. David Heiser, at the MCIU this Friday morning. So I'm hoping to have get that report on Friday. So I have nothing to report other than the legislative breakfast this Friday.
Thank you. Eastern Center for Arts and Technology.
Yeah, last month, Eastern celebrated Women's History Month by bringing back, I believe, some alumni to speak to the students who've been very successful professionally. They continue to send students to the State Skills USA competitions, which were held at Hershey. And I believe the JOC approved the collective bargaining agreement with the Eastern Education Association for the next 5 years.
Thank you. MCIU.
In last month's meeting, they've begun approving their budgets for the following school year, and we have another meeting tomorrow evening.
Thank you. Technology.
Thank you. At our meeting on April 13th, security, keeping our students and staff secure and families secure online is a recurring topic. In addition, this month, we spoke about some of the RWAN upgrades and updates this summer. So we have those dates. They're all occurring on weekends, and which will have no impact on our district because we do have a backup internet circuit, and those improvements will improve reliability and redundancy with our primary internet service provider. A few data services updates related to PowerSchool and PIMS collections, which is always good information at this time of year. The organizational and professional learning update related to ISTE, which is being held. It's our National Educational Technology Conference, which is being held in Philadelphia this year. And there's a Science Expo in May. And rather than wait until next meeting, we did get some good news. A recent salvage that was approved by the school board We had anticipated about $15,000 as a return on investment. We've received $34,000 back for those devices. So we were certainly happy with that, and that goes back into the budget so we can purchase more devices and for classroom use. So great news. I wanted to share that this evening.
Thank you very much. Schools?
Yes, just over the past week and a half, all 3 buildings have conducted their spring intruder drills, and very, very successfully. In fact, Pine Road worked on transporting 5th grade students here to the high school as an evacuation model, and had some mocked parent pickups and such, and things went extremely well throughout all 3 buildings, and very, very successfully. So thank you to our students and our staff at all 3 buildings for their efforts.
Thank you. Dr. David Hauser, are there any correspondence?
There is not.
Is there any item items that the board would like to discuss? Okay. The next scheduled meeting is May 9th, 2023. If there are no further comments or questions, meeting is adjourned. Oh, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion adjourned, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, too.